Hope you guys are having a good afternoon. How am I going to say good evening and then say, I hope you guys have a good afternoon? Whatever. Anyways, today is a video just to talk because I think it's just to make a point. It's to make a point that the average person can and should just speak their mind just because. Yes, there has been too many people on the internet sort of judging and downplaying others because of assumed information and surface level enlightenment. But I think the pile drive of general frustrations and sort of lack of energy for those things sort of have decreased those things overall, and people who are average content creators being encouraged to sort of like get off the shelf if you're not selling a product every time is not only taking away from the art form and making the social aspect of social media less of an actual thing and just make it a more complex bartering system, but it also suitably silences those who aren't officially a product, and by doing that, silencing a majority of people. So, also, like I said in one video, that's what this app is for. So we're just talking just to talk, and yeah, that's it. That's it, really. That's it, really. I got a silk do-rag yesterday because I was going to the store for like a new white one and a pink one, because the white one, you can't see it, but it's like a little dingy because like I wear it pretty often, and then like the pink one, it's just like it's like a pin splotch on it, and for thematic like personal reasons, I need a new pink do-rag. So it's like this whole thing, like, don't certain things in life just happen, and it just makes you think, I should really be writing. New laptop on the list of things to get. Anyways, but yeah. So yeah, it seems to be sort of like a low-key area for me in my life right now, but you know what, I'm appreciating that just because it's giving me time to actually absorb and process things to where I can move forward effectively and fruitfully as myself in a way that I feel most confident in. That was probably a bunch of words that kind of made sense if you don't think about it too much, but don't really make sense strung along together, but I don't care. If you want a scholar, go to a TED Talk. Thank you. But yeah. Yes. And yeah. I've still been like doing like my workouts and stuff like that, and like there hasn't been many challenges with like the Powerpuff Club or whatever, but I'm noticing a resurgence of gardeners online, and it's really nice that it seems that we've kind of got past that rough patch to where everything was just sort of clashing a little bit, and it seems that there are proper parameters for representation, so that we can as a community gauge these things and don't have to worry about our content being flagged. Maybe depending on the content you make, it may not be as it may not be pushed as much, but it does feel like the app has become more welcoming as long as like it's done in a way that's not too conflicting, if that makes sense. But because I just noticed that like a lot of gardeners have been facing this sort of change in social perception, not just of gardening, but of the gardeners themselves, and which category you fall into as a gardener. And it's one of those things that you're not really supposed to say, but it's as somebody who's been very candid about their experiences so far, and the sort of changing tides is an active participant in how I frame certain aspects of my own branding. I just find it to be something interesting to talk about, like the whole what I mentioned in the video, like not being bothered about like racist people saying that I want to be a thug or whatever. It's just an adaptation to the recent shift in social allowances, and as a person who's not used to getting typecasted and stereotyped in that particular manner as much, it's just something that's, although it seems average and redundant, it has been something that has been difficult for me to adjust to being a consistent factor for me. So, yeah. So, but yeah. Yeah. I said something about ADHD on a video, and then somebody called it a trauma response. And it's not just, and I mentioned this when it came to that, like what people said about autism, but as someone who knows damn well he has ADHD, not everything is because of a trauma response. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but like not everything is a symptom. And even if it's coming from people who have experiencing these things or say that they have experiencing these things, I would recommend, especially if you're a person that's in a very chaotic, conflicting, or low point, I would really suggest, and this is coming from like I feel you, okay? Like, I mean, I feel your exact situation because I don't know who's watching this, but I feel you. But like, when you're categorizing your emotions and responses and triggers and just general things you're taking in your experience into that unknown category, don't always put it in the category of active, of reactive, or dissolution. So it's not always something that's a response to something that needs an ailment or fix, and it's not something that completely puts a damper on things either. It's not something to necessarily avoid or just something to dread that's upcoming. It's more like just sort of managing like putting together a puzzle in a different shape that you're not used to working with, in different shapes that you're not used to working with. Like, the puzzle still works the same, but the puzzle pieces that connect aren't just shapes that you aren't used to connecting. It's more like that. And I don't know. Everything isn't a tick or a stimulant or something like that. So that's why, especially as a adult, I don't bring up the ADHD as much anymore, just because how the internet has memeified it, even in more mature spaces, or has intellectualized it to the extent to where every aspect of yourself that isn't extremely conventional and neurotypical and extremely like average is a sign of your condition, and that's really unhealthy. And I don't understand. I don't think that a lot of these mental health experts or these people that are trying to be motivational understand how they're actually enforcing the thing that they're trying to impose isn't healthy or correct. You know what I'm saying? Or like trying to like the thing that the way of thinking that they're trying to replace, they're just replacing it with something that has like a gauze over it that doesn't look like it's black and white, but if you remove the two slides, you'll see it's just black and white that was just like layered over each other. But then it still has the same like rubric in the back over it, and it still makes the same point that any colorful emotion or response that you have is a signal of an experience you're having directly related to your condition. And that just seems unreasonable and also unfair to the person experiencing that. And it's also just across the board seems like a subtle way to just categorize a section of people as incorrect. And I don't know. I don't have a degree in that, and it's not my specialty, but it's just something that I've noticed from my observations. It may not be worded that well, but this is YouTube, so.